It's 2 centuries of Wainsey shame and misery, and your mother can repeat every detail. The cast iron benches on Merchant Street, the ones made in England, they're in memory of Mara Kincaid, who drowned trying to swim the 6 miles to the mainland. The Italian fountain on Parson Street, it's in honor of Mara's husband. The murdered husband, according to Peter, according to you, the whole village of Wainsey, this is their shared coma. Just for the record, Mother Wilmot sends her love. Not that she ever wants to visit you. Tucked in bed, Tabby rolls her head to look out the window and says, "Can we go on a picnic?" "We can't afford it, but the minute you die, Mother Wilmot's got a drinking fountain picked out, brass and bronze, sculpted like a naked Venus, riding a conch shell, side saddle." Tabby brought her pillow when Misty moved them into the Wainsey Hotel. They all brought something. Your wife brought your pillow because it smells like you. In Tabby's room, Misty sits on the edge of the bed, combing her kid's hair through her fingers. Tabby has her father's long black hair and his green eyes. Your green eyes. She has a little room she shares with her grandmother. Next to Misty's room in the attic hallway of the hotel, almost every old family has rented out their house and moved into the hotel attic. The room's papered with faded roses, the wallpaper peeling along every seam. There's a rusty sink and a little mirror bolted to the wall in each room. 2 or 3 iron beds in every room. Their paint chipped, their mattresses soft and sagging in the middle. These are the cramped rooms, under the sloping ceilings, behind their little windows, dormers like rows of little doghouses in the hotel's steep roof. The attic is a barracks, a refugee camp for nice white gentry. People to the manor born now share a bathroom down the hall. These people who've never held a job this summer, they're waiting tables as if everyone's money ran out at the same time. This summer, every blue blood islander is carrying luggage at the hotel. Cleaning hotel rooms, shining shoes, washing dishes, a service industry of blue-eyed blondes with shining hair and long legs, polite and cheerful and eager to run, fetch a fresh ashtray or decline a tip. Your family, your wife and child and mother, they all sleep in sagging chipped iron beds under sloping walls with the hoarded silver and crystal relics of their former genteel life. Go figure, but all the island families, they're smiling and whistling as if this were some adventure, a zany lark, as if they're just slumming in the service downstairs playing bridge with their cronies in front of the big clock in the wood-paneled room off the lobby. The loudest sound in the room will be the big pendulum tick-tocking back and forth. Either that, or she's sitting in a big red leather wing chair next to the lobby fireplace, reading her with her thick magnifying glass hovering over each page of a book in her lap. Tabby tucks her chin down against the satin edge of the blanket and says, "Grammy told me why Dad doesn't love you." And Misty says, "Of course your daddy loves me." Of course, she's lying outside the room's little dormer window. The breaking waves shimmer under the lights of the hotel. Far down the coast is the dark line of Wainsey Point, a peninsula of nothing but forest and rock, jutting out to the shimmering ocean. Misty goes to the window and puts her fingertips on the seal, saying, "You want it open or shut?" The white paint on the windowsill is blistered and peeling, and she picks at it, wedging paint chips under her fingernail. Rolling her head back and forth on her pillow, Tabby says, "No, Mom," she says. "Grammy Wilmot says Dad never loved you for real. He only pretended love to bring you here and make you stay." "To bring me here," Misty says, "to Wainsey Island." With 2 fingers, she scratches off the loose flecks of white paint. The sill underneath is brown varnished wood. Misty says, "What else did your grandmother tell you?" And Tabby says, "Grammy says you're going to be a famous artist. What you don't learn in art theory is how too big a compliment can hurt more than a slap in the face." Misty, a famous artist, big fat Misty Wilmot, queen of the fucking slaves. The white paint is flaking off in a pattern in words. A wax candle or a finger of grease may become Arabic. It makes a negative message underneath. Somebody a long time ago wrote something invisible here that new paint can stick to. Tabby lifts some strands of her hair and looks at the ends. So close up her eyes go crossed. She looks at her fingernails and says, "Grammy says we should go on a picnic out on the point." The ocean shimmers bright as the bad costume jewelry Peter wore at art school. Wainsey Point is nothing but black, a void, a hole in everything. The jewelry you wore in art school. Misty makes sure the window's locked, and she brushes the loose paint chips to the palm of one hand. In art school, you learn the symptoms of adult lead poisoning include tiredness, sadness, weakness, stupidity. Symptoms Misty has had most of her adult life. And Tabby says, "Grammy Wilmot says everyone will want your pictures. She says you'll do pictures the summer people will fight over." Misty says, "Goodnight, honey." And Tabby says, "Grammy Wilmot says you'll make us a rich family again." Nodding her head, she says, "Dad brought you here to make the whole island rich again." The paint chips cupped in one hand, Misty turns out the light. The message on the windowsill where the paint flaked off underneath, it said, "You'll die when they're done with you." It's signed Constance Burton. Flaking off more paint, the message says, "We all do." As she bends to turn off the pink china lamp, Misty